What is up, guys? We are here with another video. So in today's video, what I'm gonna route some vacuum lines for my fuel pressure regulator, my boost controller, and then pretty much put the radiator in, mount up the new E-fans, put some pigtails on there so that way they can just plug and play, and pretty much go from there. So far everything's been going good on the bill. I've been waiting on some AN lines, some -8 lines for my coolant system since I am missing those. I did order some line, but it just wasn't the right size, so I need to get -8. Other than that, I think we're pretty much close to getting this thing running. I can technically turn it on right now without the radiator being plumbed in there with coolant. So I might actually end up loading the tune today and just start it, just let it run for like 15 seconds and see how it goes. So yeah, let's get to it with this. We'll get all that stuff routed in there and we'll see how it goes. All right, so here I have all my vacuum lines. I'm pretty much gonna run it from here all the way to my boost controller. So should be fitting pretty tight on there, which it is like so. I'm pretty much gonna cut this to length and then try to tuck this in there as much as I can, try to clean it up. So let's see how much we need here. You know, obviously the longer the better. That way you don't have to do it twice. So I think we'll do it at about that length here. So let me get my little cutters. Should be good. I'm gonna go ahead and just route it around this way. Just kind of make it or help it look a little cleaner. So I am routing it through the back now. Essentially where this vacuum hose is going to go, you're gonna plug it into this port right here, the one that goes into the intake manifold. That is gonna be pretty much the intake boost source. That's gonna be plugged in right on this front one right here. So go ahead, plug that one in like so. It's gonna be hard to do it one-handed. So I'm gonna set you guys down, just plumb it in, and then I might actually run the line maybe under the fuel lines, just kind of clean it up because I have it right here right now and I kind of not liking the way that's looking. So probably route it under and then plug it in. All right, so now that I have the vacuum lines pretty much routed how I want to, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually put one of these clamps on there. And I'm mainly gonna do it on this one right here because it is kind of gonna be at that angle where there's a possibility it could actually come loose. So just put on that one there. So there you go. So now I got a clamp on there. I'm not gonna put a clamp over on the other one going to the boost controller because that one doesn't have a tight bend like this, so there's no way it's gonna be pulling off or anything like that. So just leave it on that one, and I think that should be it for here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the radiator in, plumb the actual radiator hoses into it, and then continue on forth from there. So yeah, let's keep going with this. Alright, so pretty much what I have set up here is everything I need to get my radiator mounted on. So this is a new E-fan since the old one, which is over there, got completely melted. So I'm going to go ahead and mount these onto the radiator. I'm going to mount them a little bit higher so that way the headers don't sit too close to them because then they're going to get melted just like the other one. That is the main reason why I put the header wrap on the actual car, was to avoid any type of melting from my radiator fans. So I'm going to go ahead and throw those on, and then we'll go ahead and put the radiator in the car and clamp everything down. So pretty much I have everything here, which is all the hardware you're gonna need to mount the E-fan on. So essentially the way this is gonna go, you're gonna have some springs, you're gonna have these little zip ties here. Pretty much the spring goes in, small side goes towards the actual radiator where it mounts on, and then the bigger side goes towards the back here. So this is how that's gonna go mounted on there. And essentially these right here, you're gonna put the little foam pads. You're gonna have a total of 8, 4 for the radiator fans, and then 4 for the actual backing here. So if you have, so you're gonna have a total of 8 for each fan essentially. So you're gonna have 4 in the front, 4 in the back. So you're gonna put the foam piece on the flat side of the actual mounting little bracket piece here. I know they're plastic, but they're pretty much mounting brackets here. And then the zip tie pretty much is gonna go through like so. You're gonna put it right in there, and it's pretty much gonna zip tie on, and you're gonna pretty much push it all the way through until you get enough tension, and then you pretty much clip the back off here. So that's essentially how that's gonna go on there. I mean, pretty much E-fans, like, it's not always the best way to do things, but an E-fan is kind of the best in my situation right now. If I could, I would put a shroud on there, but there's really not enough space to have a shroud because the headers will hit the shroud. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and just run it like this. I'm running the fans, like I said, just a little bit higher so that way the headers don't actually burn through them. You know what, go ahead and get these all set up and mount the radiator fans in, and then put the radiator in the car, put the hoses on, clamp them on, and then we should be good from there. Now that you have everything all set up, essentially what you're gonna do here, you're gonna grab your zip tie. Pretty much you're gonna put it right in between one of the fins. So what I mean by fins here is you have these little tiny fins. So pretty much you're gonna stick it through a little hole, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna twist it. You can twist it to the right, essentially, while poking it through. That way you don't damage anything, or do the least amount of damage per se. So you can have the little hole, poke it through the hole here, and while you're doing it, you're gonna be twisting it in and pushing down at the same time. So, like I say, you really don't wanna damage the fins here. So there you go, that one's pretty much bottomed out there. That one is good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the other ones. Same story, while pushing it through, you're gonna be twisting it. Just make sure you don't damage any of the fins here. So obviously it's gonna leave kind of like a space where you're gonna put the zip tie through. I mean, there's kind of unavoidable, something you can't really, get away from. That is why I'm saying that this is not really the best way to mount fans onto your car. It's always best to get an actual fan shroud made as well, so you can get the correct amount of pull from your actual fans. Because when you have a shroud, you get way better fan response, and you'll get better CFMs from your fans as well. Those are through there. So now we're gonna move on to this side right here. It's through. We got 3 more to go. Through. I am so excited to get my car running, guys. You do not even know. I have not had this thing run in 3 months now, and I've really been slacking on it because I've been trying to make videos for you guys. So, no, I would have had this thing running a long time ago, but I just want to create content for you guys so you guys can see the whole process. See exactly what you have to do to get your car pretty much to where I'm at now, and help you guys out with these installs. So, all right, so now that that is all done, I'm gonna go ahead and probably pick this up here and see if I can get a better angle for you guys. So now I'm looking at the front here. So essentially what you're gonna do now, go ahead, you're gonna get your zip ties. You're gonna see where they're going through here, they're poking through. You're gonna keep twisting and pretty much pushing through. There's one right here. Twisting and pushing through. Same story is gonna go for all the other ones. 4. All right, so now that you have those pretty much all pushed through like so, you're gonna go ahead and get the backs of these, which are pretty much gonna be like the little plastic brackets. Pretty much zip tie them. They're gonna work exactly like a zip tie. So you're gonna push them all the way through and then just tighten them. Don't go too tight, because then you are gonna break these at some point. I did have like one of these break because I tightened it too much. If you put too much tension, they're gonna have a tendency to break on you. So not too tight, just get it on there enough to the point where not gonna fall off. So we're gonna push them through. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to put one real quick, and then I'll go ahead and do the rest off camera. So we got one here. Foam padding is gonna go towards the radiator. You're gonna push it through just like so. As you guys can see, it is pushed through in there, and you're gonna hear it start clicking as it goes through. So, all right, hear that? So it's just like a zip tie. You pretty much keep going all the way till, bam, it's laying on there. So, like I said, you don't have to go too tight. That I think should be okay, just enough to where this right here isn't really jumbling around, so that should be okay. And then you're pretty much gonna cut them off once you're all set and done with all of them. So I'm gonna get the rest of them on there and then cut them off, and then we'll go on with installing the radiator. Now that the radiator is all ready to go in, you're pretty much gonna line those 2 little bushing holes right here with the bushings on the actual radiator. So there's 2, 1, 2. Just line them up, and then pretty much get the thing all in there. Here we have the radiator going in now. I have to take this 12 off real quick because it's actually going to get kind of in the way. So just leave it like that for now. So put this thing right in here like so. All right. All right, so that's pretty much in there. The power steering hose is kind of gonna get in your way, so you kind of just have to move it out of the way to get it in there, and just make sure that you are not threading against your pigtail as well, because that can happen. So what you gotta do from here is just make sure everything lines up, and then once everything lines up, it should pop in there fairly easily. So you have like the 2 grommets that are on the bottom side. You pretty much just line them up here, and then everything should be okay from there. So do everything is good here. Like I said, this power steering hose might get in your way, so you kind of just have to push this out of the way a little bit, and then it'll slide through. So I think this is all good to go now. I'm gonna go ahead and plumb up the hoses and connect the radiator fan harness, and then think that should be it for installing the radiator. So yeah, I got the brackets on there now. Low radiator hose, you're pretty much just gonna slap that thing right on there, tighten the hose, and then the top one, slap it right on there, tighten the hose as well. And that's pretty much all that goes. Pretty much the way that the bleeding process would go with the whole coolant system when you do get to it. Make sure that you fill up the radiator completely with coolant. Get all those air bubbles out of the radiator. As I was saying, yeah, if you don't completely fill up the radiator and bleed out as much air as you can as possible, you will have problems trying to bleed the coolant system. Subarus are very finicky with their coolant system. Obviously, you have an expansion tank, and then you have like a little coolant overflow. You have the radiator, then you have the engine itself. So, like I said, fill up the radiator first. Make sure it's completely full to the brim, and then pretty much you're gonna squeeze this right here. You're gonna squeeze this hose. Make sure that it is completely full. On this one, you kind of have to check it from here to make sure it's all full and pretty much fill it up from here. So yeah, that is pretty much the process. You know, when you do have to bleed it, fill up the radiator first, and then after that, kind of squeeze a little bit, and then fill up the expansion tank, and then keep squeezing it. Make sure the expansion tank is completely bled out as well, and then make sure your overflow is completely full. So yeah, that is pretty much all you have to do for the bleeding process. Make sure you do it correctly, because you will have problems trying to bleed the coolant system. Subarus are not very nice or friendly when it comes to trying to bleed them. So yeah, so let's keep on going forward from here. So yeah, we'll get the hose tightened up and get that one tightened up, and then I think that's pretty much it for the radiator. I got the fan clipped in, and then I'm probably gonna load the tune on the ECU and see if it starts up, and you know, just have it run for like 15 seconds because I don't have an intercooler hose. So since I don't have a charge pipe hose on there, just gonna let it run for like 10-15 seconds, make sure everything sounds good. It's not gonna sound the best, but just make sure, you know, that's all good there, and make sure that there's actually fuel being put in the vehicle, and then pretty much go from there. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we are gonna load the tune onto our access port, and then load that up to the ECU. And then I think I'm gonna have to go get some gas. So I will probably have to go out and buy one of those containers so I can carry some gas. So I'll probably do that, and then pretty much figure out from there if this car is going to start or not. I'm hoping it does, fingers crossed. I'm just going to start for like 10 seconds, just make sure that there's actually fuel getting to the engine before I send it out to my homie to get the charge pipe all fabbed up. Yeah, and I also got to get the coolant lines as well. I got to get those made. So once I get the coolant lines made, I'm just waiting on the fitting skit here with the hoses. I can go ahead and finally get the car over to my homie Ugo. He'll make the charge pipe for me, and then I should be pretty much all set to go. Like I said, there is a low fuel light on the car, so I'm hoping that goes away once I actually fill up the tank a little bit. I'm not sure if that's going to be wiring related or not. Hopefully not, fingers crossed, because I really don't want to have to go through the wiring all over again. So yeah, we'll get that all set here. I'm going to load up the tune right now, and then we'll grab one of those containers so I can put some gas in there, get some 91 real quick, put some in there, and then try to start it up. Hopefully the low level light goes off. I think I can put up to 3 or 4. I think there's like a 3 or 4 gallon container you can buy. So hopefully that will be suffice, and the light actually turns off. If it doesn't turn off, I feel like maybe the float might be a little too high on the car. I'm not too sure. I put it where it's bracketed on for the actual, you know, level sensor on the radium fuel hanger, so it should be correct. But I think there's like a secondary little sub sensor that's like goes like a little bit like right above the fuel float. That one may be a little bit too high, so I might be getting that orange light falsely. But I really want to make sure that my fuel level is actually reading like it should. So we're gonna do all that real quick, and we will be right back. All right, so here we are. We are in my little producing room here. This is where I get pretty much everything done. So we will go ahead and load up the access port manager, and we will get the access port connected to the computer, and I pretty much have to load in the tune that my tuner sent me. It's going to be a very rough tune because it is a base map. So we'll see how this map runs. It's going to run really bad because I don't have a charge pipe connected. So I'm not expecting things to go very well. I really just want to make sure the engine's getting fuel, and that my fuel level light and my fuel level sensor is working as it should. So I'm gonna have to look through my email and pretty much see where it's at. All right, so I found the new map that's gonna go on the car. So I'm copying that onto my access port. So now I have that on there. Let me see if I have any data logs. Oh, looks like I have 2 data logs saved. So I'm gonna delete those data logs just to not confuse myself. So data logs are all gone. So I think I should be good to load up the tune. Let's see what's the, so 3584R, 2150 cc injectors, caught 4 bar. Yep. this is the correct map. So I'm gonna load this on there, and yeah, this is gonna be very interesting. Actually, I'm gonna delete that map and rename it. Awesome. So now that is loaded on there. Pretty much the way that you navigate this right here, it's super simple. So I have the map right here, and then pretty much you just load it onto here. I'm not sure if you guys can really see it all too well, but essentially you can navigate data logs, your ECU data. You can do a lot of things, load up your own pictures on there as well. So yeah, I mean, it's fairly easy to navigate, and then once you like copy something on there, you just kind of drag the file and then drag it over, and then you should be good. So that's pretty much how you do all that on there. So once you're all set and done, before you unplug the access port, you got to eject it. So eject, you can close that, and then bam, you're all done. So I am going to go buy that jug now and get some gas, and then load this tune up there, and then we will start the car up. All right, so I am back. I went ahead and put fuel in the car, and I am still having problems with the fuel level sensor. It's not reading the way it's supposed to, where it's supposed to be reading like either halfway, quarter mark, whatever, 3/4 of a mark. It's not reading, so I am gonna have to probably take out the fuel pump to figure out why that's not reading. I don't know if it's stuck maybe. There's a possibility that the float might be stuck. It's reading voltage perfectly fine. It's just weird that it's not actually reading any type of level. So I just put, as you guys can see here, I just got this actual tank right here. So I got this VP Racing 5-gallon tank. I went ahead and put 5 gallons of gas in there, and it's still not reading any type of level. So there's definitely something going on there, but I know there is fuel. So I went ahead and just loaded the map onto the ECU to get this thing started. So other than that, this thing's pretty much all ready to go and start. I don't have my alternator serpentine belt hooked up, but I do have my battery charger here, so it has a jump start option. So I'm gonna jump start it and see how it idles and how it runs, and then pretty much just turn it off from there. Just want to make sure it's actually able to run before I get it towed out, before I figure out the whole wiring issue. Just want to make sure this is all good. Then I'm waiting for the actual serpentine to get here for that one, since this is gonna be a shorter one, since I'm not using power steering right now. So all right, moment of truth, fingers crossed. I hope everything goes well. I'm just gonna have it just start for like 10 or 15 seconds and then just turn it off. So yeah, let's see how this goes. It runs. That it does. I fucking sprinted upstairs. Oh! Hell yeah. Well, there y'all have it. She runs. Obviously not great, but she runs. Yeah, I gotta get the charge pipe made for the car. I still gotta hook up the coolant lines, bleed the coolant system. I did see a small leak coming from the fuel pump, so I'm actually gonna have to check and see why it's leaking on the actual line. I think it's the feed line that's leaking. So I'm gonna have to check that out and see what's causing that to leak. Other than that, I mean, just the fuel level, that little leak, and then the coolant with the charge pipe as well. That looks like pretty much it for what is needed to get this car pretty much on the road. So I appreciate you guys so much for watching. It is nice to hear this thing running again. Like, it is just crazy. So I appreciate you guys for watching. We're almost done here. We're almost there. So we just gotta get this thing all dialed in, get this thing all set up correctly, and then yeah, we'll aim for that 6,700 wheels, so we'll see how that goes. I appreciate you guys once again. I hope you guys have a great day. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and please comment. Tell me what your feedback is. Let me know what you guys think on everything. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace. All right, so you can see we're actually back on the next morning. So I went ahead and bought a multimeter, a trusty one at least. So I ended up getting my fuel pump assembly, and I was looking at all the wiring. Essentially what I was doing here is I was testing for let me get its continuity. So checking for continuity. So every time you get continuity, it will beep at you. So essentially I was checking the wires. So I'd go from this wire to a wire down here, and then pretty much check the wires until I start getting a beeping noise. That way I knew that I was actually getting the wiring right. So essentially I wired it up wrong. So pretty much there's colors that you trace. So I had to actually go right in here. Let me turn on the light real quick. So I had to go right in here and actually take out the fuel pump. So I had two wires mixed up. I had the black and yellow, and it was the blue that were mixed up. So I swapped those over, and bam, everything's all working as it should now. I was messing with the floater outside of the actual hanger to make sure that my fuel gauge was working. So now everything is all working. So in essence, this is the end of the video. Let me turn off the light real quick. This is the end of the video. Car's running, car's good to go. I am freaking hyped. I cannot wait to drive the car. This is so exciting. It's crazy. Like, it's finally there. Now all I gotta do is get the coolant pipes, the coolant hoses done, get the charge pipe all set up, get the correct serpentine belt for my car. If I'm not gonna run power steering, I don't know. I can try fixing it on the floor or on jacks, I guess, but it's just kind of a pain. I kind of want to do it standing up, so yeah, kind of spoiled in that way. But yeah, I think she is pretty much all good to go here. This is awesome. I am so excited to drive this thing. Like, you guys do not even know. Just hearing this thing start up is gnarly. God, this is gonna be great. So, all right, this is pretty much the end of the video. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what builds you guys have going on. DSM, Subis, Fords, domestic, whatever. Comment your builds down below. Let me know what you guys are doing to them. And post some channels up. I want to see what else people are building or what people are posting. I just kind of want to see like what's out there, what builds I can possibly do or think about next. And pretty much know how to better my videography here. So I appreciate you guys so much for watching. This is finally fixed. I can't believe I fixed it. Honestly, I hate wiring. Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Peace.